Well, welcome to the E-Cafe. I thank you for tuning in. I am Kay Elizabeth Green, and it is my joy, it is my pleasure to, to invite you into this virtual cafe. I have a guest here with me, and let me invite her in. I see that I've left my virtual screen on, so I am I, I, I am inviting people who are shining their light right now. Like I said, that Alyssa,
Alyssa.
let me have you introduce yourself while I go adjust a little bit. Hey, this is live.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, guys. My name is Alyssa West, and thank you so much, Miss Green, for having me here today. I'm so excited to be able to be part of this e-cafe community. So thanks so much for having me this morning.
All right, thank you. uh, uh, hey, um, today, because of everything that has been going on, I am committed to working with all of you highly sensitive, natural born leaders that I call Indigos, really be able to get through this time that we have right now. We are not only are we feeling our own energy, but feeling the energy as sensitives of everybody around. And so during this time of quarantine, it's important that we take care of ourselves. And so what I have done is to invite some friends who I know are highly sensitive, natural born leaders that trust their intuitions and are now making a difference. Alyssa is my yoga teacher. And when we're in Vegas, and what I loved about her is that instead of looking at the problem, she looked at a solution. And so, with most of the broadcast I've been doing all of April, it is to help you really take care of yourself. And, I've been talking about breathing and meditation. And yeah, it's good coming from a person by themselves. But tell us a little bit about you.
Well, thank you. I love the practice of yoga and meditation as a way to ground down and connect to yourself and to connect to your higher purpose, whatever that is for you. We all have a different one. But when you're in your body and you're moving, you feel so much better. You feel so much freer than when you're just stewing on a problem. And it's not to say that yoga and meditation are going to suddenly make all the problems of the world disappear, but they would put them in perspective.
And now I'm here by myself, but who is sharing your space?
In my space, I have two little boys who are 6 and 10. I have a wonderful husband who is taking care of said little boys right now so that I can be on this show with you. We have several pets. We have quite the menagerie of animals. So it's a full house around here. And definitely there are some challenges, but it's working as it goes.
And you also work from home, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So I know that many people have been juggling. I have the privilege of only having one roommate, and she is an adult and she is in the front of the house. But how Well, first of all, what is your personal practice to stay safe and sane during this time?
I utilize meditation heavily. I try to do a meditation practice very first thing in the morning upon getting up. So I have a couple of tools I'd like to share, if that's okay.
Please do.
So meditation for a lot of people can kind of be confusing or overwhelming, and they don't feel like they can sit and concentrate. So other forms of meditation include writing letters, journaling, just sitting in a chair and practicing pressing your feet into the floor for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be for any very long time, but it's just the act that you are sitting and commanding your space basically for that time. And that's one of the ways that I keep sane. The other is that I practice my yoga, my actual asana movement practice. I also exercise, and I try to do things to connect with those people around me every day, that really intentionally. So reading with my kids, playing card games with my kids. I have a practice where I make a list of things about my husband that I love. So it could be any number of things, but I picked that up from a thought leader, and I thought, well, why not do that? That's such a great way to stay grounded and stay really present and happy in my space.
Let's review a couple of those things that you do. One, writing. Having a journal, especially during this time, whether you are in the house with others or you're by yourself, it gives you a place to get all those thoughts out. It gives you a place to not yell at the child, to not yell at the hubby, to really write it out. And I think at this time, we have to really take responsibility for our own actions. And it's, when we're bumping up against people that we normally haven't, and we've got all of this angst on the outside, it's important that we have a tool that it becomes like a friend.
Yes, it does.
It's your journal, and for the kids, you can give them. What do you do with the kids to get their thoughts?
So my kids do a lot of drawing, and that's just something that they like to do on their own. That was never something I introduced as any sort of tool to them. My son does keep a journal, and it's sporadic and it's full of superhero drawings and different things like that. But he goes to that, I notice, when tensions are high. And we also do other things too, like to get them to move their body. So they might come out and practice a couple yoga poses with me, or they might take my ladder to the street and do ladder drills. It just depends on what they're up to, but I've noticed, picked up from example, these different tools that they utilize when they're feeling some sort of way that doesn't quite feel right to them.
And I love that you say they pick up from example. Coach Alyssa, that you can find on Instagram, and I will put all of her information in the top. But you can see her working out. She did this way before in her garage, and you can see her son. He doesn't do all of it. He may only run through and do one or two of it. But if you are doing something, they will follow suit. So watch with the TV, watch with the binging inside. They will follow suit as to what they see you doing. So especially during this time that they don't really understand why they have to distance themselves from friends and from family members, even in some cases. So it is, make sure that you are utilizing, you're being an example. So self-care is important, because before you can give to others, you got to give to yourself.
Absolutely.
Let's see, what else did you say that I wanted to, because I thought that was really good. How are you spending time with the media?
I do spend time on social media. I do run one of my businesses on social media. I do go live a lot, but I have a rule about social media. And so I'll share it. Maybe it will help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I sit for 5 minutes in prayer or meditation. So if you pray, you can pray. If you meditate, you can meditate. But I take a second to get myself before I get on social media or I consume any sort of media at all, really. But I really limit the amount of news media that I watch because it's very sensational and it's very worrisome and it's highlighting all the worst things. And then on social media, there can be those attacks, right, that come out of nowhere. So getting centered first is essential so that I can contribute something good out in that space.
I agree with you totally. Like, I really have a rule now, and the only way that I'm able to keep my vibration up, to keep my smile on, is I will not check my emails, my Facebook, or anything before a certain time. And then when I go in, I'm grounded. I can observe and take the information from it that I need without absorbing all of that negative energy. So I think
That's a great practice.
yeah, it really helps me at this particular time to stay centered. And I think that that is what we all need to do. As you say in yoga, it is a practice. You know, it's not something that you do once, it's something that you hit the mat every single day and, you know, and focus in on what's going on. But okay, let me see what else. Oh, tell them about, like, it's the yoga class that she's doing, free yoga class on Saturday morning. Uh, Tell them about it.
So a couple of weeks before all of the shutdowns, I noticed that some of my yoga students in a particular class that I was teaching on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock Pacific time were feeling a little anxious, and they were coming to me and they were asking me questions, and I have no more answers than anyone else does. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the government's going to do. I don't know. You know, I'm not a medical doctor, and so I don't want. I want to reassure people, but I can only do what I can do. So I sat and I thought about it, and I've always operated on do what you can with what you have where you are. And so since we have this amazing technology where we can communicate with people, I said, well, no matter what happens, I will teach you guys every single Saturday at 9 a.m. and I will figure it out. And so I went home and I asked some friends for help, how to connect Zoom to a calendar, to, you know, all these things together. And ta-da, we have class on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. So the great thing about practicing in that way is that I can see my students. And so I can see their hands, their feet, their core. I can see what's going on with them to help them get the most out of that practice. So different than just following along on a video where you might not get that one-on-one feedback.
Where you can sit back and say, go girl, and drink your coffee. Alyssa will call you on it and say, Liz, stretch, you know,
Yeah.
so she can watch you, and it is motivating. It's encouraging to have somebody. So you really feel she's as intense as she is.
Well, thank you.
Oh, but I love the classes because of all of the positive information that you're receiving. So go ahead.
So I welcome everybody who wants to come to class. It's all levels. It's everyone, including people who've never taken a yoga class before. People could come and be in the class and be successful. There's no exclusion from, you know, there's no, you know, you have to know or be a master already. You're already a master at being you. Just come and put your hands and your feet on your mat and go for it. And we have fun, and, you know, I try to make it light so that in this time of heavy stuff, we get the work that we need, physical, mental, we breathe, and then you go about your day feeling lighter.
And hers is the first yoga class that I've done that you sweat. Okay. That you really sweat, and I must admit, because I'm just getting back into the practice, um, is that you're looking at the clock. It's an hour long class, but you can go into a resting position and get back into it. But it's an excellent, excellent class. And I'm going to put the information in the, I have it. I'm going to put the information up above. Hi, Karen. Uh, Karen is saying, hi, ladies. This is good. So,
I know Karen. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you.
yeah, but let's see. We have notes. Um, you mentioned love notes to your hubby. I thought, because that is when you are juggling a bunch of things, you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of the kids. Sometimes your spouse gets left out, and especially in this time, I think it's important that you remember that they also need your energy. So tell them about the love notes.
So the love notes, like I said, was a practice I picked up probably about 10 years ago. I read it in a book, and the gentleman was talking about making a Thanksgiving journal. And he was talking about a Thanksgiving journal, not just at Thanksgiving time, not just for the month of November, although that's a really great yearly practice, but an all the time practice. And if you did that and you wrote things down about people that you loved about them, and then gave them the notebook or the paper or whatever, that it was this kind of gift that would be so special to them because it was accumulated over time and it was something specific to them. It wasn't just, you bought them a keychain or something. It was something really special. So I kept that as a practice, and I kept that as a way to get through, like you said, these times that are really challenging, because if you've ever been married, you know that sometimes it's challenging, right? But keeping that idea of finding something every single day to love about that person that's brand new, or to admire, or to praise them for, changed my whole marriage. It changed all the relationships that I have, actually. And so the love note thing is what I love about you today. I love you for this. I love you for that. I love this about you. I love it. It can be things like, I love the way you coach our children in baseball. I love the way that you put your clothes away in the hamper. I love the way that you made dinner and it was just perfect. Or I love the way that you tried to do something that didn't work out so perfectly. So there's so many ways to express those love notes. It could be written, it could be spoken, but it is something that will change the way that the energy flows in any relationship, really. So you might not say to your boss, well, I really love you for putting your laundry away, but you could appreciate them in some other way. If so, you can use this outside of your primary relationship, and you can use it in other places. Obviously, it's going to look a little different, but I definitely encourage people to try it in their relationship with their spouse or their partner, because like you said, this time is really challenging for a lot of people, and space is hard, if you're right on top of each other, like you mentioned before. So, saying those things that are nice and encouraging and praising, really essential at this point.
Yeah, Karen's agreeing with you that it takes so much, and as she said, you make it so simple, and that is what we can do.
Right.
We're talking about everything that we can't do, but to know what we can do. The little steps makes big waves, makes little ripples, but it goes into big waves. I want to make sure that you have the information to sign up for the Saturday yoga class, and you're going to be doing it every Saturday
every Saturday until they open back up again. But to be honest, I feel like this is such a good way to serve people. I don't know that I would stop doing it. I love the community that's creating. I love that people are showing up. I love that I can serve people from all over the world. There's people from all over the world. There are people from our little Vegas class, but that's just such a tiny group, and we're able to serve so many other people who can reach out and do other great things. And so I'm finding myself more and more fond of this platform, and I'm excited to teach more on this platform.
And hopefully you will be. I know we're going into a new age where we're doing things differently. And I love it that you are embracing it and thriving doing it, because the first class, how many people did we have?
I think we had 15 the first week. And then second week was 30. And last week, I think there was 40. And I think there's about 50 already signed up for this week.
Oh, I got to sign up. 51.
Yes. So I really feel like you said, there's a change, there's a shift happening, and we can use all our energy to fight the shift, or we can figure out how the shift is going to help us serve others, or to, make our lives a brighter, more beautiful place. And I think, as it, like you were saying earlier, that example of how we can serve other people is really, really important right now. And it's important to our kids. It's important to the people who are around us. So,
well, why don't you say how people can get in contact with you? I will definitely put it on in the header that everybody will be able to do it. But why don't you say it in case I decide to put this on the radio?
Okay. So you can get a hold of me at alyssawestcoaching.com. And my link for the class is a Calendly link. And it's calendly.com/Alyssa West Coaching. So if you're looking on Instagram, it's Coach Alyssa West, and Alyssa West Coaching on Facebook. If you're out in the world and you just want to be my friend, it's Alyssa West. And I try to share only things that are going to equip or lift people. I have a no negativity rule, and it's my own personal no complaining rule. And because there's so much to be grateful for, then why spend the time, complaining? Because if you are complaining, that there's a way it could be better anyway. So you may as well talk about that. So I try to serve people on my personal page and on my business pages as well. So if you need to join me for yoga, please do on Saturday. It's at calendly.com/Alyssa West Coaching. And there's so many people out there serving people right now that we really have the opportunity to connect with really great individuals like Liz.
Thank you. I love the fact that you shared some real good information, and folks that are listening to this on the replay, go ahead and make sure that you like it. If you're watching it on Facebook, go ahead and hit the bell. If you're watching on YouTube, it is my mission, it is my goal to make sure that I serve this community, because as sensitives and as indigos, you came for this time. And I will, as I said, I am the author of Building Spiritual Muscle, where it is my joy, it is my pleasure to help remind you how powerful you are, to help you recognize your gifts by bringing on people like Alyssa and teaching you to really trust your intuition. If you'd like to get in contact with me, Kate Elizabeth Green, everywhere you will find me. And for those of you who I'm taking on another role, and that is of live stream producing, because getting out people's message like Alyssa is important to me. So if you have a message and you are looking to get it out and you would like my help, also give me, contact me. And we are really, one last thing that you might want to say, Alyssa.
Just thank you so much for having me, and thanks so much for coming to class, and thanks for so much for believing in what I do enough to bring me on your show. And just thanks for all your great energy, because when you put your mat down, boy, you bring the energy, and it's really, really amazing.
And ditto to you. It is good to be able to recharge. And it is, and it's important that all of us who know the light share the light. At this particular time, do not allow others to dim your light. I was talking to a client, and they were mentioning the fact that because they were up, because they were happy, because they were busy, that they were being criticized by members of their family. They felt that their family, that something had to be wrong with them. And this time should be mad. They should be frustrated. They shouldn't be going out smiling and working through their day. And I am glad that they remembered to not hide their light. Many of us will be faced with others who will try to shut down our light. It is critical that we do the self-care, meditation, journaling, exercise, so that we can maintain our center. And in maintaining our center, we can just say, they've got a condition, and keep moving on. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I thank you for being my guest.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in, all of those who have tuned in and are listening. I've got a lot of good people coming on during the month of April. So if you need to have a respite, stop on in at the E-Cafe, and I will greet you. I will let you know that may light, love, and plenty of laughter accompany you on your day. I am Elizabeth. May you have a blessed one.